Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, my students. Welcome back to my HTML and CSS lesson. This lesson, inshallah, about Flexbox in CSS. Flexbox in CSS is a powerful layout module that revolutionizes the way we build web layout. By using Flexbox CSS, we can create responsive designs with ease. Now, let's dive right in and explore the world of Flexbox. Flexbox or Flexible Box. Flexible Box layout is a CSS module that provides a set of properties to create a flexible and dynamic layouts. Now with this example, now I have here a main container div, and inside it I have three divs. 1, 2, 3. I can create this main div and its childs by using float. Okay, as you see here, I have here by using float property, and here by using flex property, display flex. Now if I decrease the view like this and resize the page, look now, by using display flex and here by using float. Okay, here in the first choice, the page it's look like more dynamic than if I use the float property. Okay, now let's go to the example how to make this container and how to create the three childs inside it by using display flex. Let's go. Now in my page I add the main div, okay, as a container. Add here class, capital or small, it's okay, class, and right here container. And inside div I'll add three divs as a childs. Div multiply 3. Okay, write anything inside everyone. For example, child 1 or text number 1 or part 1, and here write part 2, and here write part 3. Okay, like this. Now add the CSS code to the container div. Okay, the big div. Take it Ctrl C and go up, and inside style tag, between the opening tag and the closing tag, add the following class. Ctrl V, my container class, and add it here by using display flex. So start with display flex, then add a background color, and add this back color, for example F1 F1 F1, as by using hexadecimal code. Then height, I ignore the width now, height, then add, for example, 450 pixel. Then justify content start. You can ignore this property now, we'll explain it later. Okay, now display the page. Now it is my big container, the whole div. Okay, and this child number 1, child number 2, and child number 3. 3 childs. Okay, or 3 divs. Now I can add class for everyone. I can add here class for div number 1 and the class for div number 2, and so on. But I have to use, look at this code, now I have class for every div inside this old code. Inside all the code, I have three divs. Item number one as a class, class item number two, class item number three for everyone separated. Okay, but here I can add this code by using container class also, container space and write div. Any div inside the container div. Add the following code. It is possible to provide lines of codes. Okay, lines of codes. Okay, now here, instead of repeating the background color, I just write one background color, red, for example. Then I add the padding, or for example height. Now height and write height, for example, make it 290 pixels. It's okay. And make margin from the left side, for example 20 pixel, and margin from the top around 20 pixel also. And now display the page, open default browser, part number one, part number two, part number three, but there is no width. It's a default width according to what the text inside every div. So I have to add width here, but by using flex you can add a number by add this property flex and write 1. Then refresh the page now to see the result. As you see now, these divs appear in equal proportion in width. Part number 1 equal part number 2 equal part number 3. That by using display flex equal 1. Yeah, that's right. For example, now I have to add just two divs. For example, the first one for navigation panel or and the second one for contents. Okay, now skip partition number 3, and now I have two partition, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 equal number 2 in width. Okay, now I have to edit number 1 to make the proportion equal 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. Okay, instead of 1 to 1. Now the all div inside container, the flex equal 1. What about partition number 2? Now I'll add inline code here, style, and add flex equal 4, for example. The first partition here, style by default according to the CSS code, a flex equal 1. But here, inline code for partition number 2, flex equal 4. Now see the result. Refresh. 1, 2, 4. Okay, now I divide the page, for example, into two partition, 1, 2, 4. You can use this example to divide your or make two partition for your web page. For example, the first one for the navigation as a navigation panel, and the second one to display the contents.